First off, yeah, I really want this to happen.
Conservatives are calling for an end to gas and diesel taxes from Victoria Day till Labor Day to give Canadians a summer break. They're forced to pay $2 a litre here in British Columbia. It's not much better anywhere else.
What does Trudeau want to happen? What's his take on this? Well, he did respond, and it's not what we want.
Today, Pierre Poilievre said that he's calling for you to suspend all gas and diesel tax from Victoria Day to Labor Day to give Canadians a break this summer. Will you do that?
I think the conversation should be had with the provinces as well, who are responsible for a significant part of excise taxes and taxes on gasoline across the country. Mr. Poilievre continues to refer to the federal carbon tax, which is a price we've put on pollution to make sure that pollution is not free anywhere in this country. And the way we chose to do it was to collect the price on carbon emissions, including on gas, and giving that money back to Canadian families in such a way that 8 out of 10 families in regions where the federal carbon backstop applies do better with the checks that come in through the Canada Carbon Rebate 4 times a year than it costs them extra on a tank of gas or to heat their homes.
Well, yeah, we already know that's BS, Trudeau. So, yeah, we've done the math on it. And not only do people who get the rebate, like I do, get a little bit back, a lot of people don't get it at all. What we really want is an election. If we get an election, then we can all vote on it, and we can all just say, hey, we don't want carbon tax. We don't want to pay the government more money all the time. We don't want to do that. Anyway, let's move on to something else. Let's move on to capital gains tax. Let's step back into the fact that Justin Trudeau wants to take tax money away from people using the capital gains tax increase, right?
Some Canadian households, and it tends to be the better off households, do have quite a lot of money that they've saved.
Now, that nurse may be living a good life, but she's probably not earning enough to be buying and selling assets like properties.
People aren't stupid. They can borrow money. From 50% to 68%. That's what he wants to take off hard-working Canadians who've worked hard, got loans, bought properties, and now, if they wanted to sell a property, the government wants to take the profit from it.
We've seen far too many people who are among the wealthiest do extremely well through every crisis that we've hit with. That's why we made the decision to ask the wealthiest, those who have capital, to pay a little bit more by raising the capital gains inclusion tax rate from 1/2 to 2/3.
What are people going to do about those second properties, like the recreational properties? Is there a way to pass those on to the next generation without being too much? Because I understand that if you do pass it on, they also are, it might not be the best to pass it on for $1, because if you pass it on for $1, then you know there might be some tax implications down the way.
Well, we don't know if the states are going to be afforded the $250,000 threshold, right? We don't know whether elections are going to enable people to trigger dispositions before the June 25th deadline, or actually having to trigger the actual dispositions themselves. And the June deadline is 41 days away or 40 days away, and nothing's been published yet. Mm-hmm. And so if you do have a cottage, what do you do? Or if you have a large amount of assets within a corporation. So, the best advice I've heard so far is if you weren't planning to sell, then stay the course.
The government wants to take your profit from your risk. You took the risk. If you bought a second property and you rented that property, you just want to invest your money, take a loan, work nights, work overtime to pay that loan, put all your rent into that property, and now the government want to take that profit away from you in your retirement. Yeah, I'm still angry about this. So let's move on to the comments and have a look at what you guys have said about what you think about the capital gains tax that Justin Trudeau wants to force on Canadian citizens. Like we said, let's start off with how the Trudeau Liberals plan to steal your savings. So, tied up in my wires. David said,
Trudeau should pay 100% tax since his money was laundered from Canadians.
yeah, maybe he should. Ron said,
If Trudeau wants a fair Canada, then stepping down and calling an election would be fair. We can decide if we want his policies or not fairly.
well, I'm not sure whether an election in Canada is going to be fair anymore, to be honest, Ron. But yeah, I get what you mean. I get where you're coming from. Heather said,
Dig deep in your pockets, just in it goes both ways. And since you have 3 houses...
yeah, left it open there, Heather. Yeah, since he's got 3 houses, maybe he should pay a little more. Yeah. Moose Rack said,
Hey Trudeau, what was the amount of your net worth increase? Corrupt to the core.
I think it's up to 98 million from about 40 million. I think. You can drop a comment and tell me if I'm wrong there, but I'm pretty sure that's pretty sure that's a good increase for 9 years of part-time work, isn't it? Taking Back Canada with Katie.
Do you notice he's wearing a lot of white and posturing with white backgrounds? That's no accident. He's trying to create the illusion of purity. Laugh out loud. Thanks for the great breakdown and calling out his BS.
Yeah, I noticed that after you said it, Katie. I had a quick look and yeah, it's like it's almost as if he's in an Airbnb and he's trying to, mix it with the kids. It's got to be fair for the Airbnbers. But yeah, what a pillock, eh? Jocelyn said,
How about he fixes the budget instead of lecturing us on how much we're paying Trudeau?
Yeah, definitely. Daryl says,
Trudeau's speech was like the fox trying to convince the chicken he's not going to eat them. A guy worth 98 million is going to help the everyday people. Laugh out loud, oh please.
Yeah, there you go, 98 million. Thanks, Daryl. Mark said,
Yep, a capital gain for the government and a capital loss for us. No party status for the NDP, Liberal, or the current party, the LNDP, literally non-democratic party. It's the only way for accountability, to be sure.
Sorry, you threw me there with the literally non-democratic party. That's exactly what they are. Be pie card.
How can a guy who doesn't think about monetary policies give a mathematical lecture on income taxes? I'm sure his healthy bank account isn't going to be touched.
I'm sure it isn't either. And the Slick Shady said,
This coming from a guy who said the budget will balance itself. Sunny ways.
Thanks, Slick. So, I did a controversial video which I tried to stay away from on this channel because it could kill the channel, but I think I might have just got away with this one, and that is, should we be worried? What is the Trudeau Liberal NDP government hiding? And they are hiding something. You've really got to watch this video to see what they're hiding, because I'm not going to say what it is again. So Keith said,
all the Western governments have suppressed the word that we're going to talk about. Insurance companies do keep track. A lot of young people, unexpectedly, and turbo cancers are a new thing. Here wasn't going to put something untested in my body. Never got C word or flu.
You see, that's how we have to work it out on YouTube. That's how we have to talk. We have to talk in code so that people can not understand, but you guys understand. I know you do. Campfire Girl.
Thanks for the update and good information. The sad part is there are still too many people asleep to what is happening right under their noses.
Exactly. And Slick said, the
video has survived 18 hours. Excellent.
Yeah, and Richard said,
got to see it before it was pulled. If there is nothing to see, I wish they would just let us see it. Otherwise, you are just guessing, which starts the theories growing.
Yeah, well, it didn't get pulled because I did use a lot of code and a lot of dodgy words. If you want to watch that video, I'd love you to watch it. It was suppressed, and I think videos after that have been pushed down a little bit in the algorithm because they're not pushing my videos anymore after that video because I said those words. But you know, that's what happens on YouTube. You try to tell people the truth, but the powers that be, the social media giants that own these platforms, They don't want that to be out there because that doesn't meet their agendas. Anyway, how the Liberals fake the numbers. Justin Trudeau is faking these numbers to fool Canadians. This is about the G7, where they say, we got the best, Mr. Speaker, we got the best monetary policies in the G7. Well, no, you don't. You don't have the best. You don't have the best. You messed up the maths. You messed it up. You made up your own mathematic equation and sold it to the Canadians. Claude said,
Our Prime Minister gets more bent with each passing day. Sarcasm, angry remarks to reporters and attacks on Conservative members seem to now be the norm. Moreover, his ridiculous tirades against Poilievre are getting out of control. His temperament is that of a spoiled 8-year-old girl, and someone this childish should never be in power.
Should never be in charge of a Canadian country, or Canada. I don't know any other Canadian countries. I don't know why I said that. Maybe any of the scripts. No scripts. I've never used scripts. User said,
One thing we do have is the lowest accountability of any government in the G7.
That's a great point, that they don't take responsibility for anything or any actions that they do. I really like that comment. That's really pinpoints exactly where the Liberal government are at this moment. Roger said,
That's a great observation and explanation. These are the facts the government should be putting forwards, not their lies.
Yeah, exactly. Well, nearly everything that they put forward is lies. There's so many lies coming out of that government. They twist everything. They twist it to meet their own narrative. Just be open-minded whenever you see something on CBC or Global or anything. Just fact check it. The only way to fact check things, to be honest, is to come to YouTube and decode some of the videos, which is what we're all doing at the moment, and is what we did during the trucker convoy. To get to the truth of that, we had to come to YouTube, because it wasn't going to be on mainstream media now, was it? Anyway, I'll do a video tomorrow, Monday, bank holiday, and see you in the week. Cheers, guys. Have a great holiday weekend. Bye.